Hi, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Ramblings Live. My name is Iman Griffin from the class of Westchester 2014, and I'm so excited today because we're not talking to one, but we're talking to two Westchester alumnus today. So we're so excited to check in with them. But before we get into it, just keep in mind that we also want to hear from you. In the comments, make sure you leave your name, make sure you leave the date that you graduated, and also your favorite Westchester tradition. If you engage with us, you can get this. Look at this. It's a cooler from with the Westchester logo. And who doesn't want that? Keep all your things cool as you do all your fall activities. So yeah, make sure you talk to us and we'll be sure to read your comments online as we get started. So let's get into who our guests are for today. I'm so excited to be catching up with Joseph Walsh and Joe Kienle from the class of 72 in honor of the 50th anniversary of the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference Football Championship. So we have two champions joining us today. Welcome in, Joe and Joseph. Hey.
How are you today, Iman?
How are we doing?
Great. How are you two?
Good.
Good. It looks like you guys are joining us from Westchester.
We're in Westchester. We're halfway between North and South Campus.
Perfect. Perfect. There's a few between North and South Campus, but I think you guys have just settled it by being in between the both of them just now. So let's get into it today. Let's talk about where you're from and the year that you graduated.
I am born and raised in Wilmington, Delaware. Went to Salesianum High School, played football there, had a great time. Great place. Went to Westchester, started in the fall of 1968, which was quite a long time ago. But it was a great time. It was a great place, a much smaller university. Joseph Walsh and I, were randomly assigned freshman roommates in room 266, or what's it, 268?
266.
266 of Killinger Hall.
Love that. Love that.
I'm from Levittown, PA. Grew up there. It was Woodrow Wilson High School at the time, and now it's Harry S. Truman. I came here in 68, like Joe, played on the football team, had a chance to be PSAC champions twice, Eastern Conference champions 3 times. And it was just a great experience, set me up for my career in coaching and teaching, and been a Ram ever since.
Love that. So what was the experience like being roommates? I have to know.
It was very interesting because our next door roommates were our other 2 best friends at the time, and there were battles all the time, and it was Joe and I were about the same. It wasn't the clean one and the sloppy one. We were both just sloppy, so it was interesting, and it sparked a friendship for lifetime.
So it was like the odd and the odd couple. It wasn't like different odd guys. It was 2 odd guys. But it's great fun. And the guys that Joe referenced next door, they're great friends. We see them all the time. And to think that we started that relationship in 1968. So we're real proud of it.
Yes, and lifelong friendships are absolutely made between roommates. I'm still really good friends with all of my roommates from Westchester, and it's so nice when you get to go to their baby showers and their weddings and all those things. Like, it's definitely where friendships are made with being roommates.
So what was your activity when you were on campus?
So I actually worked at Psych Student Union, but I was always interning and working. So I didn't participate in the sports, although I thought about, I think it was rugby. And then I was like, I don't think I want to get hit too hard. So I should probably stay away from rugby.
Well, Our Lady rugby players are quite successful.
They are. That's why I thought about it. I was like, oh, this seems they were welcoming us, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to slow the team down. I'm not like you guys. I'm not like football champions out here. You just got to know your lane, right?
True.
So what made you decide on Westchester?
I was a decent high school football player, and my coach at the time was a graduate of Westchester. Uh, I liked what he did. I saw his lifestyle. I wanted to get into coaching after college. So I came for a visit, fell in love with it. Actually, actually, my brother was a student at Bloomsburg, and I went to the Bloomsburg Westchester football game, and I liked the Westchester uniforms better than Bloomsburg, so I decided on Westchester.
That's such a easy thing to base your entire future off of. But look, it worked
Correct.
out.
That's correct.
What about you, Joe?
To be honest, Westchester was close to my home. My parents lived, believe it or not, in Longwood Gardens at the time. Both my mother and father worked for Longwood Gardens. And it was close, it was convenient, it was affordable.
Yes. Yes. And that's the reason I went to Westchester. It was close, it was convenient, it was affordable, and it's a great school.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great academic institution where if you work as you did and you manage your finances well enough, you can walk away with a degree and no debt.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think Westchester is it's a convenient choice, but then you get here and then you have this full experience that's just like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't expect this to be, like this. So one of the things we love about Westchester, what did you both major and minor in?
I majored in health and phys ed, minored in driver's education, did both, teaching for 35 years in high school. So that's we're both in the same field.
Love that.
That's a good picture of Joseph. That's a really good picture.
Yes,
I was a health and
yearbook picture.
education major as well. Never did that as a job, but that's what I was as a major, and it was a great time. Loved it. Was involved with Student Government Association for several years, so it was good.
Nice, nice. And you both mentioned that you lived on campus. You said you lived in Killinger, right?
Right.
Correct.
Wow, and Killinger is still around, so there are a lot of people who probably stayed there. So in the comments, let us know where you stayed. If you stayed at Killinger, which hall did you stay at when you were at Westchester? I was in South Campus at the Village.
Yeah.
All right, and let's get into where you are now. What's your current professional position?
Right now, I'm retired, but I retired from coaching high school in 2011. Retired from teaching in 2008. Then I was fortunate enough to get Coach Swan asked me to coach at Westchester. So for the last 7 years, I was defensive line coach along with Sam Scott at Westchester, and decided to give that up at the end of the 2019 season. So I'm retired now, traveling, playing bad golf, fishing a lot. I'm a lot better at fishing than I am, and supporting through the Kienle Foundation, supporting the football team.
That's awesome. And what about you, Joe?
I am also retired. Worked for many years for Morgan Stanley in downtown Wilmington. Loved it. Great career, great people. I had two partners, Christine and Kevin. We had a fabulous 25 years together.
Nice, nice. Do you guys do retirement activities together? Like, do you still hang out?
Next Thursday, Iman, we're driving to Chapel Hill, North Carolina,
Oh, wow.
with another knucklehead who we're going to go to the Florida State at North Carolina football game.
That's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy I just love to hear that you guys are still as close today as what you were when you were roommates, when you were back in your Westchester days. That's really great.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to kind of get to some individual questions, and I'll like ping pong back between the both of you. So Joseph, you have been a Kienle Foundation president and board member for many years. Please tell us about the mission of the Kienle Foundation.
Okay, so about 40 years ago, a bunch of football players, ex-football players, got together to form a foundation to help support scholarships for football players, and it's for football players only. So it's grown since then. We are now, I think, in the foundation, we have the largest endowment of any group, and that's what we do. We work, fundraise. We do two things. We fundraise for scholarships for football players, and we also manage the Football Hall of Fame. And each year we induct 5 people into the Hall of Fame, and that list is growing and growing and growing. And you'll be able to see the full list of inductees hanging from the stadium. We finally finished that project this year, so there's banners hanging from the stadium with all the inductees into the Hall of Fame. So that's what we do, and we have a banquet every year, and that banquet's coming up. Because of COVID, we missed a couple sessions, so we're having it November 6th. Will be the Kienle Hall of Fame game, and after the game we'll have the banquet. So that's what we do. And one other side note, we stayed in Kienle Hall, and Dr. Kienle, who the hall is named after, lived in the apartment in the building.
Wow. Wow, that's such important and rewarding work, and just continuing to create these opportunities for people to come into Westchester and do something really rewarding with the sports team, and then again to highlight the people who have put in so much work and got us into these championships and everything else. So that's really, really great work. Joe, so
Thank you.
do you keep in touch with the other players from the 1971 PSAC team?
That's you.
Hey, Iman, we keep in touch pretty regularly, mostly by phone. This coming weekend, there's the team picture.
Yep,
Fabulous.
there's the team picture. That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. So we do keep in touch. There are a number of us who will be here this coming weekend. It's homecoming.
Yes.
So this Saturday, the Kienle Foundation that Joe mentioned is having a celebration and a barbecue on campus at the South Campus location behind the natatorium. And I would imagine there'll be 50, 60, 70 former players in total. And then I would think that there's going to be 20, 22, 25 of the actual players from the 1971 PSAC championship football. So we're looking forward to it. Joe has done a great job in contacting players. Anthony from the foundation has done a good job in helping us out. So we'd like to invite you on Saturday to the barbecue.
I was just thinking that sounds fun. I have a little cousin who's currently in Westchester, and I've been dying to get up there and see her. And I'm like, I always thought homecoming would be a good chance to do it. So I'm like, I don't know. We're going to have to touch base about that after this.
Noon behind the natatorium, South Campus. Please come. We'd love to see you.
Free to all.
Okay, perfect. So that's an invite for me and for you guys. If you're interested and you want to connect with some of the players, this could be a really, really great event. And it's nice to kind of get back to doing these activities. So, so Joseph, I'm back to you now. How
Okay.
different is coaching football today versus 1971 when your team won the PSAC championship?
There's lots of differences. Football in general is totally almost totally different now. Still blocking and tackling and that part of it, but the passing the football is a lot more prevalent now, and the size, the mere size of the players I coached at Westchester the last 7 years are almost twice as big as we were back then. Our offensive line in 1971 probably averaged 215 pounds. Now they average 300 pounds. So the size of the people playing the game has changed a lot. The basics of football are similar, but a lot more emphasis on the spread offenses and everything. We were wing parts of that now, but that's totally going by the wayside. The equipment's changed a lot too, so I think the players are safer than we were back then. The helmet's design has changed immensely over the years for the protection of the players. Face mask, all that is totally different. Everybody thinks we wore leather helmets, but we were way beyond that. We were more modern than that, and than what people think of the old days. But we had great coaches. They were innovative in the offense. Matter of fact, the one guy, Tom Parentozzi, he set records in the passing game, it wasn't, that wasn't the emphasis like it is today. But our coaches the coaching was different because all of our coaches were our professors. Coaching was like high school. Coaching was part of their responsibility, their teaching responsibility. So they're all mostly phys ed professors, but in some of the other disciplines, they were in that too. So now you have mostly full-time paid coaches. Thank you.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a lot of investment has been put in over the years, and definitely great to hear about the safety changes, the updates that have been made. That's always a really great thing. And Joe, before we get into you, we do have a comment from Stephanie Marie. Hi, Joe's fellow Henderson Warrior and Golden Ram alumni here. Joe K, as a big time fan of all WCU things, if you had to pick a favorite team, would it be the women's lacrosse team or football?
Joseph is laughing because this Stephanie Marie is a very special person. Stephanie is my daughter. She played on the 2008 NCAA National Championship team for the women's lacrosse. And I am a much bigger fan of the women's lacrosse program than I am the football program.
I love that. A family of champions.
National champion. May 19th, 2008, Houston, Texas. Now, you've opened that door for me to talk about this.
Yes.
Steph was a great player. It was a great group of young ladies. Stephanie and her teammates are still involved with each other. They created a Westchester University alumni lacrosse chapter. So it was a great experience for our family.
No, that's really cool. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for taking a moment to leave that comment. And it's great to see a dad brag on their daughter. Like, you're going to always be proud.
Yeah.
I do have another question for you, Joe. Have you been involved with the WCAA for a long time? And if you could just let us know what the WCUAA is, that would be great too.
Sure. Westchester University Alumni Association. So I have been involved as a volunteer for many years. Many years. 30 plus years. And it's been very rewarding experience. I've said this 100 times. I love our students, both past, present, and future. Our community of students, faculty, staff, alumni, vendors, contractors. It's a great community. And Iman, you mentioned this before. When you get here and you learn about and you feel about the campus, it makes you want to be here. It makes you proud.
Yes.
So the Alumni Association has been something that I've been happy to work with.
That's great. That's really great to hear. And you're right. I think we're a little too humble at Westchester. So sometimes people have no clue about what all is happening and all the love that's here and all the champions and the just strong network. And then we know, though, like the Golden Rams, we definitely know. Joseph, final question for you. Do you miss coaching football and the players?
I miss Saturdays. I miss I miss the relationships with the players. But it was time. You get so old, sort of, you know, the time spent there, you feel you could be doing other things, and there's a lot of things on my bucket list that I want to do. But yeah, you'll always miss it, and you always miss that. But especially the relationships with the players and the other coaches. But I'm still involved in supporting them and fundraising through Kienle. So that's good enough for right now, and I will always be indebted to the university for my career and for the my livelihood.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And Joe, final question for you. What is the current working relationship between the WCUAA and the athletic department?
Thank you. I do want to say that, Joseph is a great father and grandparent. He spends an enormous amount of time and, trying to balance football and the time it takes and children, grandchildren. Joe and Pam spend a lot of time with that family, and it's admirable. Joe, how many years were you involved in football? From high school through 2019?
From including high school?
Yes.
Including high school. Probably 55.
55 years.
Mm-hmm.
Dedication.
So the relationship between the Alumni Association at the university and athletics is that we've been a sponsor, a paid sponsor for, I'm going to say, maybe 8 to 10 years, where we buy advertising and support the athletic program. So most recently, the Alumni Association Board of Directors did approve a grant for the athletic department and our student athletes. Initially, it was for health and safety testing. So we revised that grant to involve nutrition and other health reasons for all of our student athletes. So the relationship with the Alumni Association and athletic department is very positive. Terry Beatty, very supportive of the Alumni Association, and I would think that he would say the same for our support for the athletic department.
I love that. That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so thank you guys so much for answering those questions. We're not quite done yet. We still have some pictures to talk about. We have maybe some games to play, but yeah, we're just going to get into some photos. So I don't think that we had a moment to talk about the picture that's up now. You guys want to tell us a little bit about that?
Go, Joe.
Go, Joe.
I believe it's the championship. The bottom left is and the left-hand side is Coach Mitten, Coach Bob Mitten. He was their head coach, and he's hoisted up on the shoulders after the PSAC championship game that we won 35-14 over Edinburgh. And there's a little side story to that Coach Mitten passed away by a heart attack in the spring after that year. So I'll talk about connections from Westchester. When I graduated, I went to Henderson High School to teach and coached for Coach Mitten's son-in-law. And then when I became the head coach, Coach Mitten's son was my assistant coach. So there's lots of Westchester connection. So that the Mitten family was very, very good to me.
That's amazing to see that like connection take place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what other photos. Okay, so we saw these those great yearbook photos, and what's going on here?
This is the Dr. Robert Mitten, as Joseph talked about, being carried off the field.
Okay.
And he is holding the championship trophy. And number 72 is Doug Olson. And the young man with his face sort of right in there is a very close friend of ours, Doc Painter, retired New Mexico school principal. And we see these folks on a regular basis, and it's great. And Great history we're going to celebrate this weekend.
Yes. Perfect. All right. And we saw this one before, but let's take a moment to like dig in a little bit.
This is a picture, team picture, pretty traditional football team picture. Pretty big squad.
Yeah.
Pretty big squad. This was taken at South Campus.
North Campus.
Taken at North Campus, Joseph tells me. Okay.
That's where Allegheny is, right outside. It's on the hill that used to be there.
Joseph says it's right where Allegheny Hall is now, for folks who may be listening who know that. So
Okay. Perfect. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, but this is a page from the yearbook. And back in 71 here, Westchester was celebrating their centennial year, meaning 100 years of being around. And now Westchester is celebrating their sesquicentennial, meaning their 150 years. So it's so funny. We're kind of going full circle. Like you guys were celebrating a centennial, we're celebrating that 150-year anniversary. But can you give us a little bit of insights on what that was like being at Westchester during that centennial year?
well, this picture is very relevant because we were here as student athletes. And it was a great time. As Joseph has said, we have great relationships with the players from that era. We have great relationships with the coaches from that era. So the one person on here, the young man with his hand on his chin, that's Tommy Parentozzi. And he was the quarterback of the football team at that time, 1971-72.
Love that. Love the relevance. This was a really cool yearbook design too. I like the colors and stuff like that. It's really nice. Let's see what else we have. Right. So we're going to play a game. And you guys actually might be really great at this game because you've been on the campus relatively recently. You're technically on campus now. So we're going to play Guess That Building, where we show you a picture and you have to guess the name of the building. And if you're watching, leave some guesses in the comments too.
Okay.
All right. So let's get started.
Anderson.
All right. Anderson. Chantel, you know, I need to rely on you. I actually don't know the answers. I've been off of campus for some time now, but this is recitation hall.
Okay.
Okay.
Joe is 0-1.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's see what's next.
Can't even see it.
Ruby Jones.
All right. We got Ruby Jones. Let's get a confirmation. Is this? Yep, that's Ruby Jones.
Anderson.
All right. Now this is Anderson. Yes.
Phillips Memorial, known on campus as the Castle.
Yep. Correct again.
The old Francis Harvey Green Library.
Yep. Got that correct.
And that's back to the beginning.
All right. Are we back to the beginning?
Yeah,
We are.
All right, perfect. So that wasn't too bad. You got most of them. If this was a quiz, that would be a 95% score.
I think we had 6 wins and 1 loss.
Exactly. That's an A+ where I'm from.
Some of those buildings we didn't go to class in or decided not to go to class in.
Okay, so some of those buildings you had class in, but if you attended, there's another story. That's funny. So thank you guys so much for playing the game. We're going to wrap up, but before we do, we just had a moment to we just want to take a moment for our advertisement. So join us October 18th to October 22nd and show support for your team during the 2021 Athletic Week of Giving. With your help, our student athletes will have the resources they need to advance their skills in the game and in the classroom, as well as continue the winning tradition of Golden Ram athletics. For WCU athletic schedules, stats, and sports updates, visit WCUPAGoldenRams.com. Can't wait Donate now at www.givecampus.com. All right. And you guys can catch that link on the Facebook page if you didn't catch it when I was saying it, but you want to donate and you want to learn more. There's more information on our social pages. All right. So now, guys, we're going to bring it home. We always end Ramblings Live with two really, really important questions. And the first question or the first thing is advice for recent or new graduates, anything that you can offer them.
My advice would be stay in school as long as you can, get the degree that you want that's going to affect you for the rest of your life, and just have passion. Find something you have passion for and go for it.
Iman, mine is similar to Joe's. I recommend our student athletes, student leaders take the fifth. Take the fifth year. Get an internship or two, like you did. Get a job or two for a period of time, experience.
Yeah.
That one more year of maturity really reflects itself in the individual Golden Ram when they go to the job market and sit in front of potential employers. So, and the other thing I would mention is listening skills. Listen hard. Repeat what the person said. Listen with your eyes. People know you care.
Absolutely. Really great advice from both of you. Great advice no matter what phase you're at in life, to be honest with you. And the final question is, what makes you proud to be a Westchester University alumnus?
Just the atmosphere, just going to a football game. And it's been written up that Westchester is one of the top 10 Division II schools to experience a football game because of the quality of the football team, the band, and the entire surroundings, as well as the Horrocks statue honoring those who died on 9/11. It's just a great place to be from, and the entire experience is just great.
Absolutely.
I'm proud of our community. I'm proud of our students, past, present, and future. It's been a fabulous experience for my family. The two daughters are very good Golden Rams. Their mom worked at the university 25 years. So we're all in. It's a great place, a great community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We appreciate you guys. Before you go, just want to share that we did get a few more comments. We want to say thank you to Robin Chambers, who let us know that she was from the class of '69. Also, Jeff Plain, who's a proud Ram from the class of 1982. And he says, thank you all for your service to our university. We also had Stephanie playing the game with us, guessing the names of the halls as we went along. So thank you all for leaving the comments. We really appreciate it. And thank you, Joseph and Joe, again, for all that you've given the school, for taking time here to just kind of share and recap like your history and just experience and all the work you put in with Westchester. We really appreciate it.
Iman, we appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So that's it. That ends this week's episode, or this latest episode of Ramblings Live. We appreciate you guys, and catch us next time.